Both were at the DOGE subcommittee hearing. Gentlemen, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it very, very much. Michael, let me start with you. I mean, I don't know what the reason is, really, to have whatever the money is, $500, $600 million a year. Why do we have to do it? What are we getting for it? There are so many other platforms nowadays. It's a relic of the past, and unfortunately, it's a left-wing relic of the past. Why do we need it?
Yeah, you're exactly right. You know, back in the 60s, most families had one TV in their home, but now we're in a world where most people have a screen in their pocket. During the hearing, I actually had two iPads and a phone right there in front of me. So the need to get information out, certainly Americans have the ability to consume information. And the idea that the federal government continues to need to fund the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, that ends up being the shell that kind of the money's funneled through to eventually get to these organizations. You know, that's certainly in a world where we're trying to put our fiscal house in order. That's certainly a good question that needs to be asked, and one that we're answering in the committee.
I mean, you know, Eric, among other things, they run ads. It's funny. They raise money by private means. They run ads. I mean, you can look at them. They try to cover them up, but they're ads, okay? At least on PBS. I don't listen to NPR. And here's the thing. I started my career, I riffed on this at the top of the show. You fellas didn't hear it. I started my career on television 46 years ago on the old McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour show. And those guys were fabulous journalists. I mean, they were, I know, 46 years ago, if such a thing is possible. Those guys were fabulous journalists. I mean, completely objective, informed, nonpartisan, et cetera, et cetera. But that game has completely changed. It's moved 1,000 yards to the left in the recent years, the recent decades. And I don't see why Americans, you know, 78 million of whom voted for Donald Trump, why do they have to pay for this nonsense? I mean, some of the stuff that came out in the hearing today, I mean, why do they have to pay for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we've got, you know, $37 trillion in debt. We've got to find places to save money. And there's a lot of things that are more important to us. Making sure that Social Security payments go out, making sure that veterans' health care is taken care of. There's a lot of more important things than paying NPR and PBS to be able to basically compete with you and other outlets. And at the end of the day, I think that this is no longer a needed service.
You know, coming back to Michael Cloud, I love a British mystery. Don't get me wrong. I love a British mystery. I think it's the best thing they do. And they've had some good documentaries, okay? I'm not going to say it's all bad. Yeah. There's got to be a way, though, just think about this for 1 second, to be as constructive as I can on this story. They should be self-financing in say 3, 4 years, 5 years. Maybe you can help them be self-financing. You can gradually lower it, you know, over a period of time until the federal government pays zero and they pay 100%. And you can figure out a way to do that. I've spoken to PBS officials. I know several of them down through the years. To me, get them on their own two legs. This is the era of self-financing. This is the era, as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calls it, re-privatizing the economy. Let's re-privatize PBS, Michael.
You're exactly right. Today it was kind of ironic as they tried to make the argument, both arguments, that one, the federal funds they receive is so insignificant that we shouldn't worry about it, and it was so great that they needed it to survive. And those just arguments weren't congruent with each other. Not to mention, we live in a society that is very content rich. I mean, we're not looking for, you know, even though they have some great programming. I enjoyed listening to Car Talk, even though I couldn't fix a car if my life depended on it. But the idea that we have to have federal funds forcing taxpayers to pay for content creation and delivery, we're past that age.
All right,
certainly is a necessity.
Gentlemen, thank you very much, Congressman Michael Cloud and Eric Burlison. We appreciate it very much. All right, folks, coming